Hello everyone, this is Joe the Orange, and today I'm going to go over some tips I wish I fucking knew before I reached the highest pinnacle in this game. I'm fully geared out. All my items are level 465. I think you can go higher, but I'm going to say I'm fully geared out anyway. This video footage was from earlier, before I had all my awesome gear. If I had my awesome gear on me in this video, I would one hit that prick on the boat. That's right, it's not my shitty aim, it's my gear. No, only kidding, the machine gun gets in the way. You can't shoot through that shit, apparently. Unless you have some sort of rocket launcher or a grenade or something. And it took me a while to figure that shit out, so the guy on the boat's just shooting at me for the next 10 minutes. But let's jump into the video with tip number 1. Also, a heads up, I'm not good at editing videos, so just pretend the big number 1 popped up with some flashy graphics. Actually, never mind, give me a sec here. And there we go, guys. Tip number 1. Hopefully when you're leveling up, you find a gun you do love. I love the rifle. It's my jam. But one thing I was doing when I was leveling up is just chucking on any old shit. If it was a higher level, I just equipped that. You don't want to be doing that. Instead, you want to look at the stats. Lots of them have weapon damage and rifle damage on them. They're both good options. Well, it depends on what gun you're using, but you get the general idea. Another stat that I overlooked was damage to elites. That shit is golden, as in, it makes you kill the gold guys quicker. So you want that. So that's tip number 1, and a tip that most players probably know even if they haven't played this game. Don't just equip random crap. I didn't know that, because I don't play these fucking kind of games. Now let's move on to tip number 2, and I'm not even bothering using paint to write that shit up. Just imagine it's there, okay? Use your imaginations. It's healthy for you, apparently. Now this one has to do with leveling up. What you want to do is just do all the main missions in a row. What I was doing was leveling up, doing random crap, doing some control points, etc. And it turns out, those main missions I left sitting there, they don't scale up, as in the XP doesn't. The guys you fight do. XP, on the other hand, stays the same. So, you're just going to get shit XP if you leave it for too long. You might as well just do them all in a row. After that, you can start doing the side quests. Their XP, for whatever reason, does scale. So you do that, and then you're level 30. Basically, that's all it takes. And tip number 2 and tip number 3, I'm going to combine into one. Here's another thing. When you're leveling up, if you go around the map getting all the control points thinking, oh, I want to have some places to teleport to later on, once you hit level 30 and unlock World Tier 1, you lose all of those control points. So all that work you've done, capturing them all, has gone to waste. Sure, they're fun to do and don't take too much time, but if you're going to lose all this shit anyway, you might as well wait until you're level 30. And the other thing is, once you are level 30, you'll be doing a bunch of them. But before we move on to that, let's talk about tip number 4, and that is what to do at level 30 and how to move through those world tiers. Hopefully at this stage you have a lot of crafting material. That is one good way to raise your item level. What you need to do is raise your item level, I think it's to 275 or 250 or some shit. I can't remember how low it is for the first one. But you raise it to that, and the quickest way is through crafting, and then you recalibrate the weapons, and that adds some levels to them. At that stage, your item level should be strong enough to move on to World 2. Even if you aren't strong enough at that stage, it doesn't matter, because you have to do 2 of those red missions attached to a stronghold to unlock that stronghold. Once you've done them, you should have picked up enough gear to be able to do your first stronghold. Now, don't do all the red missions like I fucking did. I did all 6 of them at the start. That is pointless, because what happens is the items don't scale up. Their levels don't go higher than your world tier. So you might as well save those missions for once you have leveled up the world tier. Once you've done that first stronghold, you probably don't have enough crafting material to reach World 3. So the better idea is just do the side missions. By the time you've done all of them, all the leftover ones that you didn't need when trying to reach level 30, your gear will be around 325 item level. And then you can do the second stronghold, do those 2 missions, do the second one, and then you are at World 3. And at that stage, you have enough crafting material to bump yourself up to World 4. It's so fucking easy. Now let's talk about World 4. This is tip, I don't even remember which one we're up to. Tip 6, let's go with that. Let's start off with the cheapest and easiest and just the most basic way to get gear. Not many people are going to want to do this, as in, if you're a solo player, you can't do it. What you want to do is just go to those bounties, click matchmaking, and how you go to the bounties, let's start off with that. You press M, there'll be a bounty button. Click on one of them that has a normal difficulty. On the right hand side of the screen it'll say how difficult it is, and then look for group. Someone with a big fucking pile of gear will join and smash the whole thing up for you. There you go, you don't have to do shit. Just get other people to get your gear for you. The reason it's so good is because they're so damn short, these missions, and they drop so much loot, and the matchmaking is the quickest out of any activity. People join bounties 24/7. If you're solo, you have to do it the normal way. Just do activities and fuck around, craft a bit. Do it like how you're meant to play the game. Now let's move on to control points. Personally, I reckon it's better if you have some gear before you do this shit. It can be hard if you're a scrub like me. Once your item level is around 425, you'll be sweet. Basically, what you want to do is level those control points up to tier 3. And how you do that, there'll be some lines sticking out of the control points. And each one of those lines you do that goes to an activity will raise the control points level by 1 or 2. And what you want to do is get those control points to tier 3. Now I recommend you put on as much gear that does damage to elite opponents as you possibly can, because there's going to be a bunch of them. And the reason you want to be doing tier 3 instead of tier 4 or tier 1 or 2, well, let's start off with 1 and 2. They don't drop blueprints, and that's the reason you're doing these control points, is because of the blueprints. Now you can craft better gear, you have more mods, more weapon options, etc. And that's another thing. When you first start crafting, there isn't going to be many fucking options, as you probably know. The way you unlock more is you do these tier 3 control points. The reason you don't do tier 4 is hard as fuck to solo, at least if you're me. It takes too much time, too much effort. I run out of ammo trying to kill everyone. And it's just, I'll try it again. Maybe with my new gear, I should be alright. But, yeah, you'll find out. Just try one, and you go, okay, that's pretty shit. I might scale it down a bit. I might do tier 3 instead. Now let's move on to tip number 7. This one is so basic, but it annoyed me for so damn long. I could not believe this shit when I figured out how to do it. It was so easy, but I just had... I'll just say it. Okay, if you want to invite a friend, you know how everything's grayed out. You try to invite them and you're like, oh man, I can't invite you, everything's grayed out. Click on their name again, and now you can invite them. Fucking hell. Do you know how long? Why the fuck would that be a thing? There's the menu of things you can do, all grayed out. Why is it grayed out? No idea. Now you click again. Now it's not grayed out. Who designed that shit? That annoyed me so fucking much. It's so basic, but something I wish someone told me when this game first came out. Tip number 8 is how to roll out of the way of things. So if you're getting chased by a dude with a big ass sledgehammer, if you can roll, he'll never be able to hurt you. How you do that is whatever your binding is for getting cover. In my case, it is space. I tap that twice, and now I'm rolling all over the place like a fucking ninja. It's also good to use when you're reloading. If you're out in the open and you're getting shot at, and you need to reload, just double space, press R, in my case for reload, and now they can't do shit. I'll just roll out of the way of all their shots, get that reload in, and start blasting people in the face again. Tip number 9 is to use the cover system properly. Basically, you don't want to run from one bit of cover to the next. Instead, what you want to do is look at that piece of cover, in my case press space, and your dude will crouch down and then run to that place. If you just run manually, you're bound to get shot a lot more than if you use the cover system properly. And now I think we're up to tip number 10, and that is be a good motherfucker. Learn how to aim, learn how to shoot. Don't play like me. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe with thumbs up and all that shit. I'll see you next time.